And Ambassador TCA Raghavan, former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan, now joins us with his perspective on the story. Ambassador Raghavan, what ails the Pakistan economy? Is there no, long-term market for their products, one can ask?
Well, it's well known that the Pakistan economy has been bedeviled by a number of structural issues for a very long time, and it has generally followed a boom or bust pattern, that it has periods of high growth which then slip into a kind of balance of payments crisis, and thereafter it requires bailouts such as the one your report just detailed to stabilize the situation. But the principal challenges it faces are well known, that Pakistan consumes much more than it produces. Therefore, that has an impact on its balance of payment situation, because it imports much more than it exports. Domestically, it collects far less taxes than it should be collecting. The tax GDP ratio is very low. And finally, its government expenditure is very high, in large part because of an inflated military budget, but also because of various economic inefficiencies and numerous public sector enterprises which are making losses.
Indeed. But at a time when the economy is struggling, Ambassador Raghavan, governments by the Keynesian method are supposed to kickstart the economy by spending more and targeting it. But the IMF now and Pakistani's creditors, be them China, Saudi Arabia, whoever they are, they are basically deciding how this is going to happen within Pakistan. How serious is a problem is that? Has Pakistan basically given up its sovereignty in a sense?
No, it has not given up its sovereignty, but the measures which some of which were announced in your report and others which will follow are part of the standard IMF package. This is the IMF menu for stabilizing the economy, which is that you reduce reduce your expenditure, try to increase exports, try to cut down on government expenditure, and so on. Now, these are very, very painful measures to implement in political and social terms. And the question will be, as it has often been posed earlier, whether these measures can be in fact implemented in Pakistan with any measure of success.
Now, this 7 billion IMF loan, Ambassador Raghavan, would make Pakistan's IMF total debt increase to about $14 billion. Now, given the issues of political instability, there are climate catastrophes that Pakistan's faced. This China corridor doesn't seem to be doing too well for their economy. All these are adding to their long-term woes rather than helping them out.
That's quite true. But the central problem confronting Pakistan is the absence of a political consensus on how to address these issues. It's the political polarization in Pakistan which adds a cutting edge to all the numerous challenges and issues which you mentioned. Because in the absence of a political consensus to have sustainable government policies which will address these problems in a meaningful way looks very unlikely. So I would say that the central problem which Pakistan confronts today, yes, of course, is economic. Yes, of course, is related to the climate change related calamities it is facing. There is also a major terrorism and national security challenge it faces. But I would say that number one in the priority is the absence of a political consensus and the deep political polarization, which is very evident in Pakistan, and in fact, which is growing rather than reducing.
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Ambassador TCA Raghavan. Thank you for your insights into this story.